Yeah, I'll start off by addressing our statement from earlier. We have a very thoughtful organization franchise, especially, we have a social justice committee and a leadership committee that we talked with, met with, and got a ton of ideas, a lot of conversations, very heartfelt, emotional things that were eye-opening to a lot of people. And through that, we decided we wanted to narrow it down into a handful of things that we really want to attack and commit to so we can accomplish those goals. And those are the things that we addressed with starting with, be the solution with the voter registration and getting people aware for, voting for your local representatives to start making change in your communities, education, and just giving back to communities. Not everybody has the access to the internet with people. Some people going back to school, some not, with the digital divide. So being able to provide for some of those people. Police reform and accountability was obviously the hot topic for us. A lot of back and forth. That's where most of the emotions were, the passion, to really make change for what we've been witnessing. That's been going on currently, but it's been going on for hundreds of years. And it's just now able to be recorded because of camera phones and social media that it spreads, and everyone is pretty aware of it. Now it's time to make change. And then the last thing, just community support, economic advancement. Something we talked about was really trying to push and create change on the east side of Cleveland, and give back to those communities that are less fortunate, to where we could start setting a standard here in Cleveland, and showing the world that if you have a group of people that cares and is truly passionate about it, and you can take over an area and create change, you can slowly affect more than just your immediate area.
Thank you for that, Baker. We're going to go to Nate Ulrich for our first question.
Hey, Baker, I was just wondering your thoughts on today being the first, move the ball with some live tackling, about how the offense was able to go, and if you guys made any steps.
Yeah, obviously the second offense started out real hot with the big play to David. I thought we did some things well. There's still obviously room to improve, but it was definitely different with the constant level of that crowd noise, white noise, whatever you want to call it. Without the right headsets, it was a little difficult to hear the walkie-talkie stuff, but that's stuff where, we're working through. But it was good to get out there in the stadium for some of those guys to feel like what it'd be like to play with, a small crowd. But there's definitely room to improve. I thought we did some things well, but we'll look back on the film and probably be not as satisfied.
Excellent. Next is Mary Kay Cabot.
Hey, Baker, just wondering about, the first team offense went primarily against the second team defense. And does that, when you watch the film, do you think that'll frustrate you even a little bit more, knowing that, you couldn't do a little bit more against the second team defense?
No, I mean, we did some things well. We're trying to run some plays. We didn't run the ball as much with the live periods, just trying to prevent some injuries and stuff like that. Just trying some things out. Obviously ran a few trick plays, not normally how we would call a game. But, that's why, said we'll look back on the film, and there's always room to improve.
To Aditi Kinkhabwala.
Hey, Baker, I'm going to bring it back to this statement. We haven't seen a lot of white players, quite frankly, or a lot of quarterbacks, with the exception of maybe Carson Wentz and Ryan Tannehill, really kind of step out the way that you did. Why was it important to you to be the first one to read? Does it matter to you that you're the quarterback and that you are indeed white? And when you look at this statement, did you look at anybody else? Did you read what the Ravens wrote? Were you interested in what other teams were doing?
I saw what they wrote, just because when we were talking about what we wanted to do within the discussions of how we want to go about this, we're looking at other stuff, but we wanted a unique approach. That's why we were having those intimate discussions about which actions are we actually going to take. We don't just want to make a statement to make a statement. It's not a PR stunt. it's something that we've truly had deep discussions about of how to create that change and how we're going to do it step by step. So that's something I'm passionate about, you know, and that's what Coach Stefanski talks about is the players that are thoughtful and do their research, their due diligence to care enough about it. You know, I've always believed, you know, when you can put stuff aside in the locker room, it's how the world should work. You know, you put every difference aside, every background, where you come from, shape, size, color, you put that all to the side and you work towards the same goal. And when it comes to real life, that's just human rights. It's an equal rights issue. So you put all that to the side, and that's something I'm very passionate about. And I wanted my guys to know that. They do, but making a statement as, you know, the leader of this team is very important. But we have a ton of people that are just as passionate about it. So it's just about, you know, us all coming together for that same goal.
And if I could follow to go back to that first part though, just because it's something that Pete Carroll even mentioned, do you think it's really important that not only Black players and Black coaches say something, but white players and white coaches say something?
I do. Because that just shows that you're in it with them. You know, it's not it's not a one-sided movement. You know, I can't put myself in their shoes for some of the inequalities that they have gone through, some of the things they've gone through, but I'm trying to the best I can by hearing their stories and sharing that. And that's the best part about it, is hearing their stories, so I can really start to feel their frustration and anger and push forward with them, because that's what it's about. It's about all trying to create change together and be that solution.
Dale Ryder.
Hey, Baker, shifting back to football here, because you've spent so much time in this camp going through installations and really reviewing everything that you did in the spring, could you kind of take me through the critical lens with which you've looked at your progress during camp? Are you more critical during install times than you maybe normally would be, or less critical, or what? How do you think you have come along, and just, you know, how has that gone?
Definitely more critical after the installation period, being it, you know, having some of the first times running some plays, some concepts. Yeah, you get the feel for it, but that's where you go through it. And then when you come back the second time around, you be very critical of, you know, my footwork, myself, my throws, accuracy. But then also, you know, we're at the time period where we're having to try and figure out which plays are we going to really roll into week one with and eliminate and say, hey, here's what we're comfortable with, here's what we're not. And so that's where we're at right now. So definitely being more critical as of right now.
Jake Trotter, you're up.
Yeah, hey, Baker, how has Odell looked to you out there, especially compared to this time last year when he was battling that sports hernia injury? And also, I think you said on TV the other day that the chemistry is going to be much better between the two of you. What are some of the factors behind why you believe that will be the case?
You know what? He's feeling better. Obviously, having surgery, getting healthy is the main priority. But then just us being on the same page, having the offense, talking through it as many times as we possibly can. You know, it's not hear one thing and be coached on by another. We're talking through it with each other, so we're on the same page constantly. You know, there's let nothing go unsaid, should I say that, within the details of this offense, and that's what we're doing right now.
We'll go to Scott Petrick. We need to make this one the last one for Baker.
Thanks, Rob.
Hey, Baker, where do you think you personally have made the most progress since camp started?
I wouldn't say it's anything on the field. I'd say it's within our locker room, getting around the guys, you know, realizing that I have to do much more than just let my play on the field, you know, to be the quarterback for this team. I have to, you know, put my arm around these guys, lead them, show them the way, and especially in these uncertain times, if the schedule changes and all that, to never waver, never falter. So just showing those guys that I can be the leader no matter what.